The following audio used in this video was edited to have no lyrics or ambience and or a name for the construction of a fan fiction. The following tunes are actually performed by Guns N' Roses, Black Sabbath, Aerosmith, Ozzy Osbourne, and Warrant. Not that you'd care. I prefer Blank Flank, but you know. Original albums are owned under the label of Geffen, Vertigo, Epic, CBS of the US, and Columbia Records. Please support the official release.
Booyah!
Chapter 8. Gossip and Excitement.
Oh my god, it's just not the same!
The band ran through their rehearsal the next day. They all woke up early to get it out of the way, since everybody had plans that day. Whiplash and Slide were planning to assist Rarity with their new outfits at the Carousel Boutique. Rush wanted to spend the day working on the stage setup some more, despite it being ready enough. And Thrash was planning on meeting up with Applejack. After running through the whole concert, they packed up their instruments for the rehearsal tomorrow.
Why isn't the zipline hooked up yet?
Snap observed.
Yeah, I was curious about that. What gives, Rush?
Thrash asked. Rush explained.
We couldn't get it up. It was too heavy for the clouds to handle and too short to reach the stage.
Well, thanks Celestia, we have a backup plan.
I don't know, Thrash. The device for the other stage entrance broke yesterday when we tried hooking it up. Maybe you should stand on stage with us. I mean, come on, we can use the lighting to make you blend into the darkness or something.
Don't worry, I've got it all under control. If Pegasus ponies have the strength to move heavy equipment around the stage, then they shouldn't have a problem holding me.
He's got a point there,
said Whiplash.
So, when are you leaving for Ponyville?
In another hour.
Well, I'm about to leave with Slide in a few minutes, so how about hitching a ride with us?
No thank you. I need to shower before leaving anyway. All that practicing left me smelling worse than a sweat sock.
Slide butted in.
Is it really because you want to smell nice for that mare you're meeting again today?
That has nothing to do with it,
Thrash remarked. He didn't want them to get on his case about being friends with the mayor, nor did he want Applejack involved, which is why he didn't say her name.
You know, I can tell that there is another reason of why you don't want to go with us. It's written all over your face. Is it because you don't want us to meet her for some reason?
Kind of. She's a little shy and has a hard time making friends with other ponies.
She sure made friends with you so easily.
Hey, get off my back, Frenchie! Technically, I was the one who made friends with her.
Now that I believe,
Whiplash said. The whole band looked at her.
Well, I'm glad some pony understands. Now, if you excuse me,
Thrash said. He trotted off stage and out the exit door.
What makes you believe he was the one that made friends with her?
because that's how we became friends.
Either way, it's not like him to hide things from us.
That's true.
Ah, leave him alone. I don't see what the big deal is. I mean, it's not like he's turning on the band or skipping out on practice.
He has a point.
The rest of the band agreed. Whiplash was still unsure. Applejack wiped the sweat from her forehead after bucking one last tree in the apple orchard. She then went to the cellar to store the apples with the others that would be sold in the marketplace, thus completing her work for the day. She moved quickly because she was excited to meet up with Thrash again.
Leaving already?
Big Macintosh asked his sister as she closed the cellar doors. Well, yeah. I just want to clean myself up a little bit before meeting my friend again, she said.
Just remember that you have to work tomorrow. We're running a little behind on the harvest for the marketplace, so we need to put ourselves in gear.
You know I won't forget, she said as she ran into the house.
You better not.
I hope she makes it.
Thrash thought to himself. Like yesterday, he took a cab to get to Ponyville. He remembered Applejack saying that she would only come if she could get off work. If she didn't show up, he'd have nothing to do for the rest of the day, aside from going to the museum again. The driver dropped him off at the large circular building in the middle of Ponyville. He paid the driver and stood by the steps to wait for Applejack to show up. He looked up and saw the clock on the building, which read 11:57 a.m.
She should be here soon.
Applejack galloped as fast as her hooves could carry her. She didn't want to be late. She decided to take a shortcut to get there faster. She was almost there when she bumped face first into another pony. She didn't see around the corner, causing both of them to fall. Applejack pulled herself together and looked up to see that she had bumped into Twilight Sparkle.
Twilight? I'm so sorry. I didn't see you. I was just in a bit of a rush.
No problem.
Twilight said as she got up.
I was actually on my way to your place to ask you something. Tomorrow night, we're all going to Fluttershy's place to go stargazing. You want to come with us? It's supposed to be nice and clear.
Applejack was in a hurry, so she swiftly agreed.
Sure, sounds like fun. I'll be there by dusk. Sorry to cut this short, but I really gotta go.
Applejack continued towards Town Hall. Twilight just shrugged and started her way back to the library.
Well, at least she said yes.
Thrash looked at the clock again. 12:07 p.m. He was beginning to think that she had to work and wasn't going to show up. He then looked into the distance and saw the mare galloping right towards him, then stopping abruptly.
Sorry I'm late.
No problem. You made it. That's all that matters.
Applejack smiled.
You best stick close. I've got a lot to show you.
Thrash nodded as he followed Applejack. They started on the south side, home to the marketplace that Thrash remembered flying over in the cab yesterday. There were many fruit and vegetable stands scattered around the area, with plenty of room to move around. Some stands were busy with lines of customers, and others were having bad business days. Applejack even took the liberty to show Thrash where her apple stand was usually stationed. When it came to sales, the Apple family would spend 1 week selling apples, and spend the next week harvesting the apples, moving in a pattern. Beyond the marketplace was an open park. They walked around the area and got some time away from the crowd. There wasn't much to show other than the dark, everfree forest, which they avoided. As they made their way east, she showed him where Rarity, Twilight, and Pinkie Pie worked. She really wanted to show him to her friends, but they knew what he looked like and would most likely be able to see through his disguise. She kind of figured this was best, after Thrash convinced her to move swiftly the moment they arrived at Carousel Boutique. They got hungry along the way, so she stopped to get some cupcakes at Sugar Cube Corner while he waited outside. The sun started setting as they trailed through the north side. There wasn't too much to show. Homes of all sorts of shapes and sizes filled the area. They made their way to the schoolhouse where Apple Bloom went to school with her friends. As they continued onward, Applejack led Thrash off the trail. They crept through the bushes where they could see Sweetie Belle, Scootaloo, and Apple Bloom playing ball around their clubhouse. She told them about the Cutie Mark Crusaders and all the things they had done trying to get their cutie marks. They stayed out of sight so they wouldn't see them. On the west side, they found themselves near Sweet Apple Acres. They didn't get close since there really wasn't much there but fields of apples. She just wanted to show them where she lived. They were both exhausted as they ended their tour at a bridge near the center of town. The sun had set and the full moon had been brought up by another night. The streetlights lit the town and every pony was home and off the streets.
I never knew how big this place was,
he said.
It looked smaller from the sky.
Well, it ain't that big of a town,
she replied.
Then again, I've lived here my whole life, so, well, you know how it goes. It seems smaller and it's easier to get around.
Not where I come from.
What's it like in Philadelphia, anyway?
It's kind of like Manhattan, only filled with all kinds of ponies from everywhere. The locals are nice to one another, and I can imagine you've heard about the history.
She nodded.
I did in school.
You and me both, my friend. I could have never asked for a better place to grow up. I mean, it's the city of brotherly love. What more can be said?
So I'm guessing you've been to all them local museums?
Yep, all 33 of them. I've even covered all the historical sites.
Honestly, I'm not surprised.
I didn't think you would be. You should come by sometime. I could show you around some of them. We could also check out some of the local shopping areas. They have this shopping mall that sells practically everything.
So, is that where you got those from?
What?
Those things that you're always wearing.
She was pointing at the 2 gold bracelets on his foreleg.
Are they sold in that shopping mall that you were talking about? They look nice.
Thrash removed his sunglasses and stared at the 2 polished pieces of jewelry.
No, these are something else.
He sounded moodier than usual. He turned and looked at his reflection in the creek beneath the bridge.
You alright there, Sugar Cube?
What? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I just... Oh, dear sweet Celestia!
He grunted as he buried his head in his hooves. Applejack trotted forward and put a hoof on his back.
What's wrong? Was it something I said?
He perked his head up and tried to keep himself calm enough to speak.
No, it's fine. It's just... Whenever I think about it, the memories just flow back into my head.
Huh? Thrash stared at their reflections in the creek, realizing that he never did tell her anything about his past.
You're a lucky mare, Applejack. You know that?
He said calmly. She was still confused.
I guess I better start from the beginning.
The Farmer and the Rocker will continue without WUBCAKES, but we wish her well. And you can wish her well too by visiting her YouTube page. Because of this, we will be holding auditions for the following characters: Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, and Derpy Hooves, who will be used for every episode. Check the description for deets about role qualifications, how to audition, and when auditions end. We're also looking for artists and animators to help us with upcoming chapters. There are more deets on that below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you real soon.